Hey guys, welcome back. I know I didn't do a lot with Football Manager 2013. Um, Honestly, school started back up again. I'm back in college. It's hard to find the time, but I downloaded or I got I pre-ordered Football Manager 14, so I have the beta of it right now. And I thought I would just go ahead and start back up again. Like I said, I'm in college now. I don't really have time to write or to put together a lot of videos anymore. So it's really going to be a lot more, uh, not sporadically, but I'll pop in with videos. I won't show as many games. I'll show maybe one game an episode or things like that. But I'd really like to get back into this. I decided to pick Evian, and like I said, this is just the beta, so there may still be a few weird things, and then eventually, once the game comes out, skins are loaded up and things like that, it will freshen itself out a little bit. So, our job, I don't know actually how to look at this, or my contract info. Uh, well, essentially, they want us to avoid relegation. That's the goal here, which I think I have a team with Evian that are very capable of that. This is also, since this is the first episode, I might give a few tips or a few pointers on some certain things. For example, always when I'm not the greatest Football Manager player of all time. I'm not gonna claim to be that. But always look at the abilities, and you don't really need potential, but I always put ability, potential, and value here, because a lot of times when you're joining a new team, it's really hard to see, especially if you don't really know what's going on with them, it's hard to see, who the best players are without really digging deep. This kind of gives you heads up. You can say, okay, Marco Ruben on loan, it's my best player, value-wise, and then you can say, why is that? And you can look at his stats and see, hey, he's actually pretty physically capable, good finisher, really good off the ball, things like that. And you can see that right away. That way you don't have to dig through each individual player. You can also see their potential to see if they, are starlets, and that is affecting their value. You can see actually how talented they are. You can see my most talented players. Jonathan Mensah does 2.9 million. Maybe he's there's reasons for that, but he's my most, and then same with Dan Nister, and Eric Tabai, they're not my top valued players. Players like Jasper Hansen, for example, a player that Evian actually picked up in the offseason. You can see 4.7 million, but really, I'm not really too happy with it. He's a good goalie, but that's about it. He's okay. He hasn't performed well in the preseason so far for me, but that's just the way it is. I'm going to show one preseason match, and then the next time you guys see a video, it's going to be the first match of the season. You can see tactics here. This is the first team I'm going with. Another tip real quick to start off, if you're just starting off a series, don't be afraid to experiment in the preseason. The preseason is about trying different things. And the more you try things in the preseason, the higher the familiarity goes up as far as formations go. And the better, down the line, if you need to do a drastic change, you're not going to, be dropping points while you're trying to find something that works. You can have a few different, formations that you can utilize and that work really well. I haven't actually selected my subs yet. Oh, I messed it up. Okay, well, whatever. It's preseason. I'll put the pieces in I want to put in. But I thought that would just quick pick the rest of my subs, but it didn't. I should have gone down here and clicked that, which I did not do because I'm an idiot. But whatever. So we're gonna get into this match, but before I do that, real quick, I'm gonna show you guys transfers that I've made so far. I actually haven't brought anyone out yet. I have some people listed for loan and for sale that I might be trying to sell. But I've brought in one player so far. Like I said, we're early on. I've only done one preseason game besides my reserve bench. I brought in Nicholas Holfer, a defensive midfielder. I believe he played for Freiburg. I'll have to check. But I got him for about 700,000. His loan was listed. I thought, hey, here's a young player that, if you look at his stats, pretty decent all around, actually. The determination may be a bit of an issue, but, he's actually pretty good dribbler, good first touch. He's good at passing, good at marking, tackling, things like that. He can actually be a good midfielder for me. And if we look at my team, you'll notice that Midfield, down here, this kind of center midfield, all these players here. Well, I got a player here who's wanted by a club and listed and trying to sell him because he's a good value of Coney. He's pretty good. Dan Nister is good. I got a player like Bukhara, who's on loan. I have Cedric Barbosa, who I actually want to use more, who is about to retire. He's 37 years old, so I thought maybe that's an area I can strengthen. Now, in the future, I have to look to strengthening my striking core, because if you look down here, I have 2 strikers on my roster. 2 players that can play the striking role. Besides that, Ruben, my best striker, well, he's loaned out. Escobar, a young up-and-coming striker, that's not mine, and Mudo Sugu, I guess that's how you pronounce that, as well. Another tip I can give you guys that I think is really important is spend some time looking at your team. I mean, I've actually had people come up to me, some friends of mine, who I tell them to get the game because I really like it, and they like soccer, and they say, well, I don't know what I'm doing, it's too hard, I'm too confused, I don't really understand it, I only play with the teams I know well, how do you branch out, how do you do different teams? And I said, you gotta spend a little bit of time. I mean, you gotta spend, maybe an hour, the first time you load up a team, the first sitting of the game, even look at it that way, the first session of playing it. Look at the tactics, look at potential tactics, look at your roster, look at your value, look at potential moves. Do all that before. When you play FIFA and you start off with a new team, you do the exact same thing. It's just the ratings are already there and it's a little bit more spelled out for you. This, you have to dig a little bit more. But I don't think there's any problem with that, and I think that that's really very important. Now, as you can see here from our results, I don't believe this game was I think we've actually won this game. No, they won that game. Okay, so our only loss is to CSKA Sofia. I think they're Bulgarian. Yeah, which wasn't a great loss, actually. We played pretty poorly in that game. I think our best result, besides our reserves, our only other result is Sampdoria. It was a 1-1 draw. These are the kind of games we should be winning because this is the caliber of team kind of near us in the bottom of the French league. And Werder Bremen should be a pretty big test. They're a team that, in reality, aren't performing really well, but they definitely have a lot of good players. Like, Elia's personally an incredible player. Probably their best player, obviously. Aaron Hunt's really a good player. Geber Selassie, I think he's from the Czech Republic. He's like the right back or something. Very good player as well. There's a lot of talent on this team, and they really should beat us pretty easily. But like I said, this is just a friendly. So I'm going to pick this team, and I'm going to show you what I did, and then we'll be right back. Okay, so I just wanted to show this real quick. This is what I think I'm going to go. This is kind of the strength of my team, or what I really want to play a lot of, is this specific formation with these specific people. With these roles that they have as well. But this is a friendly, and I want to try out a few things, so I'm going to make a few changes here. I want to keep my back line intact, I'm pretty sure. But midfield, I haven't played with Konya or Taibai, so they're going to stay there. But I also am going to give a run out to Holfer at some point. Barbosa in the center, though. I'm thinking I'm going to start off... let's see here. This is also important with friendlies. Really look at your team and really look at the players you have, and starting off different players, and don't be afraid to really experiment a lot at this point. Dan Nister's a really good player. I completely forgot him. He's actually in there for Taibai. That was the way that role was set up. And he is the deep line playmaker and support. Okay, that's how it's set up. But I'm going to give Eric Taibai the start. I will give as well... Hugo Kanogo, player is he loan listed or is he transfer listed? Not an incredible player, but he played okay in the one game he played in. I might give him around some point. Mudusugu, attacking mid right. Let's give him a start over Togia. Okay, so and Ruben up front. I'm actually gonna push Beauregard up front, and then I'm gonna start Escobar right there. That's what I'm gonna do. All right. So let's proceed to the match. Like I said, it's a friendly match, but these matches are really, in some ways, more important than the... they're not more important than regular season matches, but they're very important because they this is kind of where you start forming and building your team, and this is where you try things out. Once you get into the season, you got to start going with what works. You cannot experiment. You see, we're actually favorites here. Bit surprising me. I didn't think we would be favorites, but I guess maybe Werder Bremen's depth isn't as good as I thought it was. Personally, we have a good team in Evian. I think we can avoid relegation relatively easily. That's my job. I want to avoid relegation and then get this team kind of, stable. I want them to have less loans. I want them to be more self-sufficient, and I want to have a team that can compete in Ligue, and be pretty strong in that league. Let the players know their place is up for grabs. Okay, and that's kind of how you want to go into these matches. You can have your assistant take the overall pep talk. Typically, doesn't work very well unless you have a good assistant, but whatever. I'm going to play a pretty balanced game. I don't want to get too kind of creative with my players. Let's try to have, let's try to focus on a standard gameplay. But let's see here. Where's my strength? I think defensively, I want to hassle opponents. I know it's not a good idea, but I want to hassle opponents. I want to, let's see, how am I going to try to think about how my formation's set up. I want to work the ball into the box and play out of the defense. Alright, let's try out these roles and let's see how we do inside this match. Alright, we are off. Okay, let's see what happens here. First highlights them. Oh, Kone wins the ball. Kind of exactly what I wanted him to be doing. Beauregard now, down the side. Or, I say Beauregard just because it looks like that. It's clearly not. It's Beauregard or something. I don't know how to pronounce it. He's Beauregard for me. Working the ball around pretty well. Kind of what I want to do. Escobar or Loney's in on goal. Crosses it into Sugu, who finds the back of that. Was that offside? Yep, that's what I thought. Looked to have just beaten his man, but that's still a good move. I'm not too upset about that, actually, at this point. Early on in the game, to get the ball working exactly how I wanted it to be worked is pretty good. I'm going to, more direct passing play. Now you can apply a vice in the side in 14. I really like this because you can look at it and choose, okay, I do or I don't. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, he's got an injury. Not going to help his transfer value or his playing for my team, so not really what I wanted, but we have players that can go in for him. I'm going to give, do I have Taibai? Ooh, I did not, he's on my bench. No, he's not. Yeah, he is. Eric Taibai, is he here? Am I crazy? He's in the game. I'm an idiot. Alright. Well, I'm going to go ahead and give Nicholas Hofer a run out, I guess. Better time than any. Give my new transfer a run out. See how he can do for the majority of this game. That's kind of a bit of a bummer, but well, and they scored. Okay, well, like I said, not too big of an issue. The fact that we're favorites may not make this a little bit good, because personally, I didn't think we were going to be favorites anyway. But we do have to do better than that. If we are predicted to win a game like this, we can't be giving up an early set piece like that. Granted, now, well, let's see what happens here. Considering my defense is, it's 2-0 now. Considering my defense is completely full as far as full strength, and I'm using the goalie I want to go forward with, well, really I do not like it all. I thought personally for Evian, not a great transfer to get him. I thought they paid a little bit too much for him. Personally, I follow Evian a little bit, but not a lot. Not enough to know a lot about their squad. But I would have looked somewhere else. I would have said, hey, made a deal with Marseille or something for a youth player there. I don't know. All right, Barbosa now crosses it in, and header by Hofer. That fall, I don't know if that was on target or a missed shot or what, but that was a pretty good chance for us. But Jasper Hansen's injured. I'm going to put him out for the second half anyway. I want to give my other goalie a chance. But I'm going to say that was not good enough, because even though it's a friendly, I'm going to say we need more spirit and fight out there. We really do. We're not playing well at all. I'm going to try to control the match a little bit more. Just keep with the same instructions, I think. But let's see here. Hansen, I'm going to leave him in, I guess. He's picked up a knock, but I'm going to leave him in just for the sake of, I do really want him to play. He's just morale's down. Foss is on a yellow. Doesn't really matter, it's preseason, but who else can I really play there? Yosef Stoabai, I'll play him there. Who else do I want to give a chance? Who do I want to see play? Cedric Mongangu's abysmal right now, but I want him to get in my first team, so I will put him in for Cam Thon to start off, and let's see what happens. I don't like him being abysmal. I really need him to do well. He's a big, strong center defense person in center defense that I really think we need to have working and working well in the team. Okay, let's see what happens. There's still 45 minutes left, and it is only preseason time for us to work out the kinks, and I'm obviously not going full strength, but Sugu now on the ball. Finds Barbosa, who's going to find Escobar in, and that's a good goal, and I think that should stand. My loanee from Dynamo Kiev, I believe, one player I actually really liked and was hoping Evian would end up trying to find a full deal to. I think in real life he even has a loan-to-buy option on him, so performances like that this year, who knows? But good goal nonetheless, and it brings us back to 2-1 against a side that is in a league that's a lot better than us, that, is a bottom half team in that league, but shouldn't have trouble staying out of the relegation area, so that's very impressive for them. Oh, excuse me. And let's see, 10 minutes left, nothing's really happening. Let's just kind of overhaul the team. We'll bring in Sorlin here. Is anyone else can really play that attacking mid-center spot that I have? Not playing attacking mid-right center. Bertoglio can, so you're going to go in there for Barbosa, Escobar, Hugo Canogo. Let's put Marco Ruben in for 10 minutes because he will be my starter. Let's get him match fit. So we'll give him a few minutes in this game. It looks as though we're running out of time here. No highlights the second half. Yellow card for Holfer. But we're going to check out ratings after this game's over. But maybe a last chance here for one of the teams, as there's about 15 seconds left. Sorlin now on the ball. Perhaps a chance here is Bertoglio. He's able to find Ruben, who's able to find Canogo, who's able to cross it into Sugu, who's offside. Or no, Canogo was offside originally. Well, good move at the end of that game, but that is the game. Werder Bremen won. It got a little bit better, but I'm just going to say, I'll let him talk to the team. He'll probably say it was better, yeah. You know what? We should have won that game, looking back on it. We gave up 2 easy chances early on, but I don't think that takes away from this game. I think we learned a lot about my team. I don't know what we learned, but we'll have to look in the ratings and stuff. Always valuable information. So, let's see. My best players on the day was Andres Escobar, scored the goal. Barbosa played pretty well. Defense didn't do terrible. Daniel Wass did really bad. But let's see here. How did Holford got a 7.0? That's what I wanted to see. I got to get him match fit, but if he's playing like that, has his, pretty good performances in the preseason, I mean, he can be a very important player for me now, and I'm looking at him to the future, 2-3 seasons down the line, him being a key player for us. So I'm really excited that I got him in. And if we look at the stats, you'll see we were outpossessed. We have to work on that. We outshot. That when you have more shots and more on target, you have to kind of say, okay, we kind of got a little bit unlucky. That's just because I told them to get stuck in with those fouls, but I'm not going to do that. They're going to be a little bit less strict with that, and hopefully that kind of works everything out possession-wise as well. But we got many friendlies left before our first game, and by many friendlies, I mean we have 2 friendlies left. So next time you'll see me is for our game against Sochaux. I might actually do it against Marseille. You'll find out. But I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. I'm excited to get back into Football Manager, and I'll see you guys next time.